I don't know how to play it safe. I've always been a person that says, if that's what God's called us to, then it'll work out.
Burn the ships.
Burn
Let's
the ships. And Carrie is like, a rock, because I don't think there's a lot of wives out there that could deal with the stress of the risk that their husband is putting the family inside of. And so, for us to be matched together, I think God intended that. God has allowed her to support, come alongside, and now thrive. And it's the team that makes it work. It's the team that runs the engine. And all the risk, now we look back and it's like, oh my gosh, if we'd have played it safe, all the stories that you're going to hear in this video, those would have been lost. Risking everything, overcoming obstacles. Man, I would not change a thing.
Do it all again.
The cool thing about Genesis Metro is it's not a plan B. And as a matter of fact, I think, full transparency, there's not a plan B. There's not a 401k. There's not a retirement fund. Every time we've had the opportunity to do something like that, a need arises in the church, and we choose the church first. In essence, a saved marriage, that's a 401k. A kid finding Jesus and having a chance to change generations of sin and broken families and maybe get it right, have a family and not end in divorce, raise some kids with 2 parents, that risk is worth more than retirement.
After about 2 weeks of going to GM, I remember being in the kitchen and asking Angelica, so what do you think of the church? And she was like, I've never felt like I feel at GM. And I was like, right? It's almost like it's a huge embrace from the second you walk in, and it's a hug that never lets go.
I think the essence really is about people. So as it turns out, it's exactly what our church motto is about. It's all about people. From the pastoral team to the staff to the people that attend. We are focused on people. We care about people. And I think that's what generates the authenticity of our church. This is what ultimately attracts people to our church, is that we care. And what we care most about is life change through the Word of God.
We've been going to Genesis Metro for about 5 years. Started off not really knowing what Genesis Metro was, walking into Women's Retreat Sunday, the first day, thinking, this is crazy. We don't know what we're getting into, but fell in love.
The discipleship that was given to me in my adult life, it was like the first time I felt like I had been growing spiritually since we had really been married. Even though we had been going to church all through our marriage, we had not necessarily been growing. And so for me, it was kind of an aha moment of a life change as adults.
I think from the outside, the way that people have looked at us, our life hasn't really changed to them, but within the 4 walls of our home, everything has changed. Our marriage has changed, the way that we try to parent our kids, and I would say that we didn't just get it on Sundays. A big part of that would be the community, the Bible studies, the life groups, and the fellowship within the church.
Some of the things that I noticed, right off the bat, coming to GM, I didn't want to get plugged in at all. I kind of want to just come for service and head out. The people at GM, greeting, I felt like everyone at GM was very real and authentic, and it wasn't churchy. I don't know.
Tim's preaching is you kind of challenge us to be the best that we can be in the Word, and your passion is just contagious. It makes me want to actually live out the Bible, not just understand it and apply it.
I really think we would still be lost had we not found GM. And
it's so, the whole community and the comfort behind that, I've just never experienced that. A neighbor of ours had invited us actually to come to GM. We were going to a different church. And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, okay, I guess we'll just try it out. And we were like, not even through the worship. And he's nudging me going, we have to come back. And when we got in the car and got home that afternoon, the kids were like, we want to go back. So we never went back to our other church, I don't think.
Nope, that was it.
That was it.
That was all she wrote.
We had just never experienced such inclusiveness. You know, usually there's the church and there's the people. And, you know, we're the people in the back row, like that's us. And, but it was like there were these people that were like, so what life group are you in? And we were like, oh, you're gonna be in this life group. And we were like, okay, we're gonna be in that life group, you know? And we just started saying yes to everything. Everything that everybody invited us to do, we just, yes, you know? And it was like thing after thing after thing, and we just kept saying yes, and just the transformation was, it was nothing short of a miracle.
I think the first time we were ever asked to co-lead a life group, I think we both looked at each other, do they know who we are? They sure they meant us? I think being able to dig in deep into church and then help, I guess, to co-lead just really lit a fire of these people have faith in us, and
I need to have faith in myself.
in ourselves. So that was not something we've ever experienced. I think both of us have experienced church our entire lives, but not at the level that we do. This isn't just church for us anymore. This is family.
When God called me to the ministry when I was 16 years old, I had a dream. And that dream was to reach people who desperately needed Jesus Christ. I was part of several institutions and churches in which I thought that serving Jesus was about giving everything that you had because he gave everything for us. And sadly, what I found was, doing church to them was more of like a social outing. And so I knew there had to be something more, and there was something desperate that was inside of me. And when I was 28 years old, I looked at my wife. We had one child, and we were doing pretty well. But whenever you have something inside of you that's from God, it's almost like something wild. And you know that if you choose to stay where you're at, you're gonna miss out on the greatest adventure that you could have possibly had. So I told her I wanted to go plant a church in Frisco, Texas. She said, "Where's Frisco, Texas?" And I said, "I don't know, but I heard it's a good place and there's a lot of young people there and we need to reach the next generation." And so we loaded up everything we had and we moved to Frisco with no budget, with no stability, with no team. And there was just us and one other couple. And we started Genesis Metro out of our house. And here we are, 15 years later, having reached and influenced and touched thousands of lives all over the world. When I think about my calling, I never wanted to have regrets. I think having risked everything and to see all of this and where we're going and every life that's been changed, I have no regrets.
To me, better together means community. It means support and love. It means friendships that go beyond the flesh and into the spiritual.
To me, better together means peace.
Better together is family and strength.
Better together to me is love.
Better together for me is hope. Better together means happiness. It means security. And it means being in a place in your life where you can enjoy everything that God has blessed you with.
Better together is trust. Better together is growing and thriving.
Better together for me is just having faith that whether it's not comfortable, whatever the situation is, kingdom over comfort, knowing that God is going to come through for you is just what it's about.
Better together means love. Better together means family. And better together means support.
Better together is a reality. It's not just words on a paper, it's for real. Better together is finding friends through God, who places them in your life for just the right reason, right when you need them.